welcome back to my channel. My name is Elina, and today I want to talk to you about 5 things that are an absolute must-have for me when I am in an AS flare. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Elina, and I was diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis 10 or 11 years ago now. It's been a long time. And on this channel, I just share, I share some different things that have helped me. I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. I'm just sharing things that work for me personally and things that I found helpful, things to try, things to maybe not try, things to avoid, things like that. So have a look on my channel and see if you maybe find any other videos that you find helpful. And if so, please hit subscribe and like any videos that you enjoy. That helps me tremendously, and it helps my videos to reach more people like you. So thank you so much. Okay, so for today's video, I wanted to talk about 5 must-have items when I am in an AS flare. So I am just now coming out of a flare that lasted since February, I think, so about 2 months roughly. The first month was absolutely horrendous. If you've had an AS flare, you know what I'm talking about. It's just this, it's horrible. The inflammation, the feeling of being, I don't know, for me, I get it a lot in my low back, SI joints and kind of hip area. And it's just this horrendous feeling of things being out of place. And it's this hot, pulsating, inflamed feeling. And it's awful. And I'm a very active person, and I had to change my whole approach to what I was doing, like physical activity wise. And so anyway, enough about that. But that prompted me to kind of, okay, so what are 5 things that I have used like non-stop throughout these 2 months, like every single day, multiple times a day. So I wanted to share those with you to see if maybe they can help you as well. So if you are currently in a flare, I feel for you. I truly, truly do. I have had flares that have lasted for years, and then nowadays I get these flares that last, it's roughly once a year, and they stick around for maybe a month or 2, usually. That's usually what happens. And again, I'm very, very active, and I do some crazy stuff these days. I got into contortion and handstands, and it's kind of... I'm surprised that my body actually holds up so well. But so when you're in a flare, it's important to keep moving, right? But you have to probably adjust your type of movement. So for me, when I've been in my flare now for the past 2 months, I haven't really done any handstands. Certainly I've not done any contortion, but I've more kind of leaned into things like Pilates and bar and more like gentle strengthening, some very light weightlifting, but mostly Pilates style workouts where it's slow and controlled movements. There's no jumping. There is no kind of, fast movements. It's very slow and controlled and mindful. And in order to move in a way that's comfortable and that feels safe, number 1 for me on my list of 5 things that I absolutely need during my AS flares is a gymnastics mat. I got this one about a year ago now, I think, or maybe 6 months ago. And it has been a game changer. This mat, so I have like 10 different yoga mats, and I love yoga mats, they're great. But if you're just looking for a softer surface where you can do stretching without hurting like the bones in your spine or those, your hip bones or the back of your hips or your knees, your elbows, especially when you're in a flare, you're super sensitive and everything just hurts and is inflamed. A gymnastics mat is a game changer. Like low lunge without hurting your knees, and you can, it really helps my nervous system to feel safe. And it's where I have done my stretching and even my workouts during my flare. So basically when I'm in a flare, I just, I stay in my pajamas, I have fuzzy socks on and just super uber cozy. I have all the props, I use yoga blocks and straps, I use the couch for support, I use the walls for support, whatever I need, but just so that my body can feel really safe and really comfortable during my movement practice. So I really try to take it nice and slow and not push myself too much, and just really making sure that the priority is about keeping my body feeling safe, because it is in kind of this heightened sense of stress, right? And kind of this fight or flight mode, and you're in pain and everything is really uncomfortable. And so for me personally, I find that my nervous system kind of requires me to really slow down and take a step back and soften into my movement, if that makes sense. So no handstands, no contortion. I didn't even do any walking because it really hurt my low back and my right hip. And so I had to really just kind of cozy up. I don't know if you've heard of this, what do they call it? Cozy cardio or something? I saw it on the news. It's some sort of concept of like working out in your PJs and just being super cozy. And that's how you kind of get through your workout. And that's kind of what I did. So anyway, long story short, invest in a gymnastics mat. I'm linking the one I use here below. It's a little pricey. I think it's $150 or $200, something like that. They have different sizes and different colors and stuff, and they might vary in price, but I love this thing. I have it out all the time. It sits right next to our couch. I use it multiple times a day. And when we watch TV at night, I rarely sit on the couch. I mainly lay on my gymnastics mats, and I stretch, or I just lay there in like a supine butterfly, or it's just very, very comfortable. So highly recommend. Okay, so that was very long, but number 2 is myofascial release tools. So these can be foam rollers, peanuts, lacrosse balls, or one of these yoga wheels. So these are also tools that I use all the time when I'm in a flare, and even if I'm not in a flare, but they're really, really nice to kind of get some blood flow and circulation into your back. So I like using the foam roller. It's very gentle. The yoga wheel is a little bit more intense, but still feels very nice, can get you those nice back cracking sounds. And the peanut is very intense, but it's also very, very good, especially if you get your pain in your neck, which I used to have a lot as well. And so this peanut is a lifesaver because you can place it right at those points at the back of your neck. And it's just a really nice way to release some of that tension that can build up there. And also to lay on it in between your shoulder blades is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's very painful, but it's very good. You can also use it on your lats, so you can kind of place it in your armpit, and then you just roll on it up and down. Also very, very, very nice. So yeah, highly recommend that. And then for the lacrosse ball, I really like using this one in my hips. So like on the sides of my hips, if you just kind of you sit down on the floor and you place the ball on the side of your hip, and you kind of lean over on it, it feels amazing. And then you can kind of roll around a little bit and see if you can find those little sticky spots, or you can just stay there, or you can open and close your leg, whatever feels nice. But it's a really, really, really great tool. So I would highly recommend investing in all these kinds of myofascial release tools. Number 3 is a step further, a Theragun or any massage gun. So we bought our Theragun years ago, and both my husband and I, we use it all the time. We absolutely love it. It's one of the best things I've ever bought. It was very expensive back in the day when we bought it. I think they're like half of that now, but we also used it a lot when I worked as a flexologist at Stretch Lab. They use a different brand, but it's still that kind of percussive or percussion therapy. Very, very, very good. So you can take the Theragun and you can hold it, like, you don't want to use it on bone necessarily. It's not going to feel very good. But if you hold it on tissue and make sure that you feel, it can be a little bit uncomfortable, and that's okay. But try to not make it like painful, and then hold it anywhere from 10 seconds up to 2 minutes in one spot. It's a really, really, really nice way to release tension and just create more blood flow in an area. Highly recommend that as well. So for me, when I have these kind of low back flares, it feels really good to do this on my hips especially. I don't tend to do it that much on my low back, but the areas around it tend to feel really, really yummy to use that massage gun. So highly recommend that. I'll link that below here. I'll link all these products below. just so you can have them for reference. Number 4 is a heating pad. Oh my goodness, I cannot even explain how often I run around with this heating pad. It's probably 3 or 4 times a day. It feels so good. So the one I have is, it's called Bed Buddy, I think, or something. I'll link it for you below here as well. But basically you put it in a microwave for 1.5 minutes, and then it creates this moist heat, and you just wrap it around your low back, or you can actually use it around your neck or wherever you have your issues. And you leave it on for like 20 to 30 minutes, or I leave it on for as long as until it gets cold, basically. But I love it. I use it all the time. It feels so good. Highly recommend investing in one of these. Not that expensive, I think. I can't remember what I paid for this, but it's not that much. So definitely get this one if you suffer from AS flares. Number 5, last but not least. So this one, hopefully you have access to a bathtub. If not, you can take hot showers, but I find that submerging yourself in hot water, and especially with Epsom salt, really helps alleviate some of that AS pain along your spine and hips and any joint that's hurting. The Epsom salt actually helps relax your muscles and can help remove soreness and tenderness in your muscles and joints. You don't have to use the Epsom salt, but it's a nice little add-on if you're taking a bath anyway. And try to stay in for like 15 to 20 minutes, which I tend to find very difficult at times because I get antsy and it gets too hot because I like my bath water really hot. Yeah, also a really nice thing to do when you're in a flare. So hopefully you have a bathtub. If not, maybe try like heated blankets, or buy more of those heating pads or something, and just really put some socks on. I found that if my feet are cold, my whole body feels really stiff. So like put some socks on, those big fluffy, fuzzy socks, and like get in your pajamas or something, and then just like get really cozy and do some foam rolling, do some Theragunning, do some, heating pads, pop in a bath, just really take care of yourself. When you're in a flare, it's very important to be gentle with yourself and to really give your body that rest that it needs. Because when you're in a flare, usually you have a lot of inflammation, your body's working really hard, and it can be draining both mentally and physically. So make sure that you take care of yourself and make yourself as cozy as possible, and also keep moving to the best of your ability. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. If you can handle walking, if that's tolerable to you, which it wasn't for me, unfortunately. I love walking, but somehow this time I couldn't take it. But if you can tolerate walking, take a little walk, even if it's just 10 minutes. Do some gentle stretching. Do some Pilates. I have a couple of quick 10-minute workouts on my YouTube as well that you can check out. And just keep moving, keep it gentle, stay hydrated, drink a lot of water, at least 1 gallon a day basically if you can tolerate it. And take care of yourself, and I hope that you feel better soon. Let me know if you have any questions. You can drop them below. Again, don't forget to hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and if it was helpful. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, have a beautiful day.